It's crazy how different everything in this is in the song, but how well it still all fits together. What's up, friends? Today we're checking out Golden Hour by Mark. This is part of an NCT LAB project. NCT within K-pop tends to have some of the best production within the genre. And K-pop is already known for having superb production. So, you know, having great production in a genre that has great production means it's just, you can just expect phenomenal stuff. We'll be looking at this song from the perspective of a producer and songwriter, so expect a lot of pauses to go over specific elements of the song. I love how big and bold those guitars are right from the get-go. Real gritty, real noisy, not as easy to distinguish what the chords are based off of those guitars. A really industrial rock feel or industrial hip-hop feel. It's so interesting. They have kind of a shuffle swing feel in the drums, but they haven't fully committed to the idea. They're stripping out certain notes from that percussion, and so they still have that swing feel, but it's not as like constant as other songs might feel that have that same swing pattern. Really interesting percussive pattern. I really like that switch up of the flow. Da, 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 da. And it's also going along with that percussive pattern. At first, we're doing kind of a flow that's not 100% with that percussive pattern, and then we do something that's much more in line with what we've heard. The drums on this, like the exact sound of that percussion, reminds me a lot of the song Black Skinheads by Kanye West. Very similar effects going on for those drums, and it also has that similar swing feel that song has. So that's really cool. I mean, that's a great song. Objectively, really interesting industrial rap song.
I got a really big problem. I don't know how to make eggs.
I love the contrast there. You have this really tight vocoder. I got a really big problem, with also a little bit of tuning on that vocal to create this stacked effect that's just devoid of everything else. They just have the vocals there right in that moment. And then the percussion comes back in and you hear a woo that sounds super organic. So you've gone from this really electronic feel to this hyper organic feel, just right after each other. I really like that pre-chorus in the fact that the primary guitar riff, very similar to what we heard at the beginning of the song, is playing against his vocals. So you have the guitar riff going on, and then he kind of responds to it. So you have this call and response thing going between the guitar and the vocals in the pre-chorus. I'm calling Gordon Ramsay. I'm cooking up. I cook you up. So interesting that choral chant, the Call Me Gordon Ramsay, and then everything drops away. So it's this really big vocal moment, and then he's subdued again. I love the contrasts that are being set up constantly throughout this song in both the songwriting and the production. That whole flow in that section is so good, and I love how much they just rely on a very few elements. You know, you basically just have those drums and the vocal. There is a bass line underneath it all, but it's really buried. It's really subtle. And I think that's the right move because it brings out the power of that drum so much more when everything else is turned down. Off the cuff, going off tonight. I'm immature on the glass, talking ping on the wall like blood on mine. That section's so sick, especially because we've been dealing with all of this heavy drum patterns, this heavy percussive focus throughout the song. And then we get to this specific portion, and we've stripped back those drums in a really big way, made them sound more like trap drums. And then we have this guitar as a really big focus, doing a different riff from what we've been familiar with in the past. Really just turns it into a breakdown rock moment. The rhythms are also going from that faster swing tempo into more of a halftime tempo. Still a little bit of that swing quality to the percussion, but more focused on a trap-like quality.
Make it right. So yeah, I'm gone.
The form of this is so interesting. Going out of that pre-chorus section, or what I thought was a pre-chorus, maybe it represents more of a chorus. Instead of going into that heavy section where, you know, there's that big yelling that I'm like Gordon Ramsay, you strip back again, you know, and his vocals are going into his higher register, which he hasn't done basically this whole song. And you've got a lot more harmonic information, which we also haven't seen that much from the entire song. It's been more industrial, more intense, and now we're going into a more relaxed tone. Really interesting.
You can free my mind.
Bunch of really interesting vocal techniques they're using here. Here you have a really heavy pitch correction. And there's also kind of a response between his lower register vocals and his higher register vocals, which are in the background. Creates this cool part that really is differentiated from the rest of the song.
Everyone's being everyone but themselves, here but not around. Wait.
Love the talked vocals over this portion. You know, we've gone through so many different vocal styles within one song. We have these more sung high register vocals. We have the rap vocals. We have layered vocals. We have vocoder vocals. And here, just talking. Just talking. It's crazy. It's crazy how much we're fitting into one song here. It's crazy because this section here feels like the chorus, and it's the outro. We're really messing with form in all sorts of ways here. Also drawing that ooh from earlier with the rap vocals we would hear throughout the song. I'm not like in love with this melody. I don't think it's like the catchiest melody, but the form and the production have been so interesting that I'm not sure if I care.
I'm calling golden now, 'cause it's the golden hour.
And what's more, I don't really feel like the melodies have been the focus throughout this song. I feel like the guitar work has been more interesting. The flows from his vocals have been more interesting. And the drum patterns have been fascinating throughout this song. It's crazy how different everything in this is in the song, but how well it still all fits together. You know, we don't even have a ton of elements, but the elements we have, we use in really interesting ways throughout this song. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Golden Hour. If you like them, let me know. Let me know what you thought. Are you in love with the melodies? Am I just way off base here? Also, did you also think the production was amazing? Could you see the connection with the Yeezus project? Maybe, maybe not. Let me know. I hope this analysis has helped you to further enjoy the music here presented. If so, I'd really appreciate if you like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, check out my music. I've got an EP called Decay from my band Jack Jack. Also has some industrial influences. You might think it's cool. That's it. Catch on the flip.
Let's